Hey guys, today we're going to do a little video sitting down together and chatting about some topics that you guys requested while I hang out outside. And I wish I could say it was a beautiful, warm, sunny day, but actually the sun and me have not been agreeing lately. I've never had this issue in my entire life, and I still don't have any answers because I went to the doctor and she go on give me nothing. Actually, she was kind of rude. Basically, anytime my arms touch the sun, the top of my forearm itch doesn't even begin to describe the level at how absolutely insane it is. It feels like 1,000 mosquito bites, and it's itchy down to my bone. That's the only trigger that I can think that it is sun, because after sitting out in the sun, it is so bad. And it's not like, oh yeah, obviously you got a sunburn, so that's what's going on. No, that is not what's happening. This isn't like a reaction sunburn. It doesn't matter if I'm not burned. It doesn't matter anything. It just matters that I am in the sun at all. So now I'm having to wear long sleeves if it's sunny outside. And let me just tell you, long sleeve summer is not the vibe. But today I wanted to talk about what you guys wanted to know and just chat with you guys about life and how things are going. It's been actually a really, really fun year. We're going to go soon to an Airbnb, and we're bringing my niece and all of her friends. And this is going to be our first trip of the year. There's like a house swallow, or I don't know, a house sparrow or something, swift. I can't really tell exactly which one it is, but nesting up in the gazebo. And it's so cute because I can hear Mama feeding the babies, and oh my gosh, I can see the little nesting material sticking out the side. I cannot, it's so cute. We're not travelers, but since having my son, like, I just want to show him the world, and I don't want him to just sit around all the time. We didn't go a lot of places when we were growing up. We kind of just hung around the area, but I want to get out and do more things just because I really want my son to be able to experience at least the United States, you know what I mean? Eventually I want to get out and maybe travel internationally, but that's not like top priority right now. But I want to go travel around. Today we actually went and looked at camper trailers. We have been talking about it for like 5 years about, getting potentially a camper trailer and like just going around. And like the thing is they are so expensive, you guys. Like, I used to be looking at Airstream, and then I'm like, this is ridiculous. $100,000 for a camper trailer is crazy. I'm wanting to go like no more than 20,000, and actually I'm closer to wanting to go with like 10. I'm trying to do it on a budget because otherwise, like, just put me in a tent and get me an air mattress. The reason I want to have a camper trailer is so we can just really honestly pull it and just go all around the United States, go to a bunch of different places, go to public lands, go to, do boondock camping, do regular camper trailer camping. I've never done it before, so I think I would like it. I'm not 100% sure, but man, they're expensive. We went and toured a few today, and we walked around on the inside of them. We went into like some R pods and some Coleman's, because really those are the only ones that are the right price. So I was inside prepping to make this video, and I was making my husband a drink from today's sponsor, which is Mudwater, and it was the chai hot chocolate that they have, the cacao chai, and oh my God, it's so good. Like I told you guys, I've been really trying to cut back on coffee. I'm down to like a half a cup a day. I still do drink coffee, but I'm trying to switch. I switched solely to matcha, and then I fell back into coffee. But it has been a really nice switch to have a combo in there in case there's some time that I want to have energy without feeling that jittery, anxious crash that I get from coffee. I don't get that from matcha. So I've really switched a lot of it to matcha. If you don't know Mudwater, honestly, so good. Mudwater has these amazing products that I love. These two that I have right here are the matcha chai, and then there's also a cacao chai. Absolutely delicious, very earthy, very spiced. So yummy the way that I make them. I like them iced. I just prefer my drinks iced. I think most people are that way. I add the Mudwater, and then I add in some honey, a splash of vanilla. I froth it with the Mudwater frother. It's seriously so amazing. Stir it all up, and then I add in my ice and whatever milk of your choice. You can add, coconut milk, almond milk, oat milk, but I do just like half and half or heavy cream. Absolutely to die for good. So delicious. They have the benefits of a fraction of the caffeine than a cup of coffee, which is better energy without the crash. They also have lion's mane, which supports focus, cordyceps that supports energy, and reishi and chaga for immunity. They have zero sugar, a fraction of the caffeine. I love that I can drink it mid-afternoon and I'm still able to sleep that night. It is USDA certified organic and Whole30 approved. Because this has a fraction of the caffeine, it really doesn't affect me nearly like coffee does. Right now, if you guys are interested in checking out Mudwater, you guys can head to the link down below and use my code RawBeautyKristi at checkout to get 15% off of your starter kit, plus a free frother. The flavor cry. It's so good. I love them both, but I really love the matcha chai. Like, it just tastes, oh my God, it's Christmassy. It's like, it's delicious. The spices. And I thank you so much again to Mudwater for sponsoring a portion of today's video. Now we're gonna hop back into a nice little chat. Okay, it's a different day. Why is it a different day? Oh, don't ask me like things like that. The first thing that a few people actually wanted to talk about was how motherhood has changed me. We won't go into this too much in case you're not interested in motherhood stuff, because I know that some people just aren't. In every way that a human being can be changed, I have been, in the best ways. So all the negative things that I've gone through, I made a video about this. I think it's like, I wouldn't take any of it back if I could, even though I've gone through some of the hardest times of my life. Give me all of it, because I have leveled up as a human being in a way that I could not have had I not gone through it. This is like my little compost bin. And then I've got my chicken bin over there. They'll get like little strawberry ends and oatmeal my kid didn't eat. And then the onion skins and stuff go to the compost. But it has leveled me up in a way that is just, it's indescribable unless you've experienced it. You know, it's given me the highest of highs and the lowest of lows, but ultimately, if you gave me the option, if you're like, has it been more net positive or more net negative? Net positive by 1000%. It is the best, most meaningful thing I've ever done in my entire life. I think that one of the biggest changes that I've had from becoming a mom is that I don't know how to describe it in any other way than to say I've become way more chill. I am not, well, I wasn't before much of a go with the flow type of person. I was I need things instant gratification. I was not very patient. I had a hard time being spontaneous in any way. And that is one area that I have almost completely changed. I now have a patience that I didn't know possible. I have the ability, and you know, and some days I struggle way more than others, but I have the ability to just kind of be okay with things not going my way. And that was really hard for me before having a son, because everything was kind of the way that I wanted. It's not to say that I was selfish, but ultimately when everything is about you, you are selfish. And I have discovered that the thing that I was lacking and the feeling like, I just feel like, I don't know, I need something different or I need something more. Motherhood has given me that something more, because instead of just living for myself and myself alone and just my husband and me and us just doing what we want to do all the time when we want to do it, which was lovely, I'm not gonna lie. Being selfless and having somebody else that you are taking care of and you care about their needs more than your own, that has given me a sense of purpose that I couldn't have had if I didn't have a son. And it's just, I know that to be a fact because I was 33 when I had him. And if I hadn't figured it out by then, I don't know how long it would have taken me to figure out. So I just love the selflessness it has given me, the absolute patience it has given me, the also realization, and a lot of therapy and medication has helped with this as well, but that nothing is forever. Even the hard days, they're never forever. They are always going to change. Even if it's a good day, never forever. I used to live kind of in this place of like, every feeling I felt was forever. And now when I feel a negative feeling or I feel a positive feeling, I just soak it in a way that I couldn't before, of being like, it's just today. Even if my husband and I argue now, I'm like, it's just today. Or it's just this moment. It may not even be a full day. Whereas before, it would derail my whole day and I would be like having just a terrible time. And I was like, well, I guess today is ruined if we got in an argument. And now it's like, let's try this again in 15 minutes. It really made me realize that, like, for myself personally, nothing is that deep, and that everything is sort of, as long as my son is safe and healthy and happy, everything else is kind of like, I also say yes to things way more now. I'm way more of a yes person because I want him to live a full and rich life. And I don't want to be the reason that he doesn't do things because, oh, I don't want to, or I feel nervous. I don't ever want my fears and worries and concerns to be holding him back. So it's made me way more capable of saying yes and doing things that I normally would not do. Because again, it was all about me and what I wanted. And now it's not about what I want. It's about what's best for him. So it's made me way more apt to say yes to things. And then that's made my life richer. There's about a million more things that I could say about parenting, because motherhood has absolutely fundamentally changed me in nearly every way. But even the lows that it has brought me to have always made me better. They have always been something that have helped me to grow as a person instead of kind of staying the way that I I am. And that's always what I did before because I had no reason to change. It was just for me. I had nothing to push me further into growth. All I was doing was listening to a lot of motivational stuff and always needing to, I don't know, I always felt like I needed to level up myself as a person for something that I could do for myself. And then I realized that that leveling up that I personally needed came from doing for other people, which you can do if you don't have kids. Like you can volunteer, help people. So many people, and I'm talking the majority of people wanted to talk about how to see positive in the world when everything is so negative. And I struggle with this really, really bad, especially in the light of recent events, just the horror of the news unfolding, everybody talking about potential World War III, talking about bombing other countries and genocide, and there's just so much horrific things that happen in the world that if you pay attention and you are looking, you will see that it's brutal out there. And the way that I personally have recently had to combat this is by taking a step back from consuming too much news. I was really inundated and I was really trying to post constantly on my Instagram story about it, constantly be talking about it, constantly researching and figuring out how I can help. And while I think that those are all really good things, I started to feel like almost, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this, I started to feel like, what's the point of life? Like if life is so bad and brutal and hideous, God, it made pottery feel pointless. It made going to the park feel pointless. It made bike riding feel pointless. And those are things that are not pointless in any way. But when there's such horror happening in the world, you think, God, yeah, so I'm gonna do pottery right now? Like children are dying. And my God, it's true, they are. And if confronted with that fact all day, every day, it will feel paralyzing. The world will feel pointless. And like, what is the point? The point is that we keep living and we keep doing our absolute best, take care of the families that we have direct control over, and helping the communities we have direct control over. My therapist and I talked about this because I was having a particularly hard time. I was like, I feel like sick. I feel sick to my stomach. I feel like, how are we supposed to continue on, take care of my family, go do fun trips, go out and see the world when there are people who are starving to death and I could help? And she made the comment to me that while it's very important to care, it's also the most impactful to help your local community, because she said basically like, if you use $1 of your money in your local community, 99 cents of that dollar will go towards the cause that you are putting it towards. Whereas if you send that money overseas, you send it to like UNICEF, you send it to these companies, while they may say 100% of your proceeds go to blah, she said probably like 50% of your dollar will go towards that cause. So she said your dollar is the most impactful at your local community level, and that there are people in your community that need your help just as much as people overseas need your help. And your help in your local community will do so much greater than that help being spread out over, you're not going to be able to, unfortunately, do as much work to help people in Gaza as you are going to be able to help people in your own town. And that is so horrifying to me because it is devastating. Like, you want to help. You want to be able to be there for people who need you. They're begging for people to care. They're begging for people to hear their story. And then it's like, you do try to, but at the same time, it starts to make you feel so, small, and like your impact doesn't really matter. And that is not true, but I understand it because I feel it too. But what I've tried to do then is just what she said, help my local community. I found like this Motherhood resource center where you can go on and buy diapers, wipes, toys, snacks, teethers, all kinds of things for local moms who need assistance. And that was something actionable that I could do that was actually going to help people. And I know it to be true because I went outside of the building where the women pick things up, and I saw their Amazon wish list on the door. I could purchase right there. It was shipped directly to that local business, and I saw the women coming in and picking up the items. There is the impact that felt like, okay, I can do something to help. It may not be for the cause that I thought it was going to initially be, but it is for a cause, period, that is helping people, and I know it is. So help where you can, and if we can, try not to, feel like the world is pointless, because it isn't pointless. Taking care of your babies and raising kind human beings that are going to further the next generation in a positive way is activism. It is something beneficial that will help the next generation of people. That is not baseless work. That is not work that doesn't mean anything. It means actually more than anything, because it is the next group of people we are raising to either care or not care. And I know that when governments don't seem to care, I know that it can feel like the government doesn't care, so why should we? And I feel that heavy, because you see them make horrific, life-altering, world-shattering decisions on the daily in the worst ways. We all know World War III is on the brink, and none of us want it, but we have to suffer the consequences of it if it does happen, which I God, hope, pray it does not. All of that makes us feel like, well, what's the freaking point? I don't know. The point is that let's raise the next generation of good kids. Let's take care of one another. None of that is ever a bad thing. It's all net positive. And if we all quit living our lives being good people because of the government and the few bad apples that exist, then this world is even a worse place than we wished it would be. You know what I mean? Like, if we all stop caring because what's the point, then it's even worse, because then all the good people are gone. All of them. So what I actually do, that wasn't just a rant, I was really, really deeply paying attention to everything going on. I was over paying attention, and then it started to make me feel sick to my stomach. So I had to back off of reading the news for the time being. It is a privileged position to be able to stop reading it, because they don't have the ability to stop living it, but I have the ability to take a step back from seeing it because it's affecting me. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, well, it's affecting them, and you should have to see it because the people are begging for you to see it. But you've heard the saying, anxiety isn't activism, and that is true. And that is where I was living. I was living in an anxious place where, sharing about it is really positive and I feel like it can help. But once that sharing makes me feel so helpless and ineffectual, then what positive is that? So I had to take a step back from it. I felt really guilty about it, but it just got to a point where humans, I don't know if we are meant to see that level of suffering, and I don't think we are. It should bother us. It should be horrifying to see, and it is. And so I personally had to take a little bit of a step back from it. I felt really guilty about it. I had to talk to my therapist and say, look, does that make me a bad person? And she was like, no. No, it does not. Talking about what we can do. And I'm just in the last 2 weeks, because I started feeling like life was pointless. I didn't want to do anything. All I wanted to do was sit and research about Gaza. All I wanted to do was sit and research about, ICE raids and all this kind of stuff. And then I was like, dude, what? I'm like, some people can handle it, and I don't think I'm one of them. I am not somebody that can sit and see horror all day long and have it not affect me. It affects me on a level that is like, I gotta take care of my family. I can't let myself get to a point where I'm no longer able to do so. So instead of feeling guilty about it, I just take a break. It's not that I'm never gonna know. I do know, but I let my husband know because he can handle it. If anything happens that I need to know about, like if something's coming to our door, let me know. Other than that, I'm gonna take a little break from the horrors of the world. And he thought that was a good idea. You have to take care of your family before you can take care of other people. And that's just the fact of the matter. People will try to make you feel guilty about it, but what are they out there doing? Well, let them figure it out. Don't let anybody make you feel guilty for taking care of what you need to take care of. We'll do the best that we can, while we can, how we can. And everybody's activism is going to look different. Everyone's going to do the best that they can. And don't let anybody make you feel bad if it doesn't look like their best. A couple people asked me if I'm into Labubu. No. If you are, that's fine. Some people say if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. I guess I'm a don't, because I just don't see it. If you like it, you like it. Almost is hard for me to believe that people actually do like it. I do wonder, is it just the hype around it that makes people like it so much? Because to be fair, it's a stuffy. I don't think they're particularly ugly or particularly cute. So no, I'm not a Labubu fan, but I don't care if you are. I don't, like let people have their fun little things. I do not like overconsumption, and it does feel like an overconsumption type of thing for me when I see people opening like 6 of them. Like, do you actually care? They're just going to sit in your closet. Are you actually going to wear them out? Do you care about them, or are they just going to end up in a landfill like everything else? I don't know. I don't like that. But also, I'm not really one to talk. I use water balloons. People were really mad about my water balloons. And it's like, look, okay, for the most part, I'm going to be absolutely conscious of the environment and every single thing that I do. And then sometimes I'm going to get fucking water balloons because you know what? My son asked for them. And we have the reusable ones, and they mildew and they're gross, and I think they're all right, but I think they're kind of unfun. They hurt a little bit when you get hit with the little magnetic ones. I don't know, they're harder to fill. You can't just like fill and fun. It's like fill, refill. I understand everything comes with a consequence. We do pick up the little pieces of water balloon that were in our yard, and even if not, they probably degrade relatively fast. I'm trying to not be so harsh in everything that I think and do, otherwise life can feel really unfun. I understand that making waste in this world is no good, but at the same time, I'm also like, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. You know, like I also want to like throw a water balloon sometimes without feeling the enormous pressure and guilt. I think that sometimes we can be a little too strict and harsh on things to where it just feels like we've sucked the fun out of everything. And the joy that my family had throwing water balloons and having a water balloon fight will far surpass whatever negative impact the water balloon fragments will have on this earth. The joy that we had was palpable, and it was just absolutely a blast. We had so much fun having a water balloon fight. It's almost like that with everything, right? You'll talk about something and everybody's like, yeah, well, what about? I do understand that, and I trust me, I get it. I can go there too. But like, and then you'll start talking about like human rights violations and all this kind of stuff. And they're like, what about animal rights violation? You're like, well, yeah, that's bad too. And they're like, yeah, well, what about the diamond mines? You're like, well, that's bad too. And then they're like, yeah, well, what about? There is no fixing it all. And if we wanted to, we could try to take on all the world's problems. But like, sometimes I just want to have a water balloon fight and not feel guilty for doing it. And I did feel guilty. And the entire time I was filling them up, I thought, there's a lot of microplastics. We have to also have a little bit of fun in our lives. We're only here one time, and we're all gonna die. Literally all of you watching this, you're gonna die. And we don't know when that day is. That day could be next week. That day could be tomorrow. That day could be 50 years from now. I wanna be conscious of the earth, and I wanna care. I wanna care about a lot of different things. I wanna care about people. I wanna care about animals. I wanna care about the earth. I also wanna care about having some fucking fun every now and again, and like not taking everything so seriously that you are unable to have fun. That's kind of where I'm at with a lot of things. I don't know, it's probably an unpopular opinion, but also at the same time, I'm like, come on, we gotta live a little. And that water balloon fight was fun as hell. I loved it. It was so hilarious. It was so much fun. A memory that I will have forever. And all those kids will be cracking up laughing. It was my niece and her 2 best friends, my son, my husband, and me, and we were all running around cracking up laughing, and it was just so much fun. And I just had an absolute blast, and I'm not gonna feel guilty about that. So gone are the days where I'm gonna feel guilty about my choices, and I'm just going to do the best that I can where I can. That's kind of the theme of this video, is it not? I think a big part of me becoming a mom is not taking everything so seriously, not making everything from a molehill into a mountain. And that is the same thing with like choices that we make in our everyday life. Like, I buy all of my meat locally. It is all pasture raised. It is all completely free range. It is animals that are treated absolutely beautifully well. Only our chickens' eggs do we eat. No cages, no anything like that. We grow our own fruits and vegetables. We garden organically. We've added so much pollinator-friendly species to our property. We are building soil health and benefiting the ecosystem. And then sometimes I will use a water balloon. I don't know, it's just one of those things where like you can do all you can and somebody will still find fault with what you do, and which they're commenting from an iPhone that was, you know, cobalt mines and lithium mines and, you know, unethical working conditions. So it's like hard because it's hard to be completely moral and completely perfect in everything that you do. It's really, really impossible to live completely ethically and completely sustainable in every single way that we do. That's where you make the best choices you can, where you can, and you let the rest go. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. Just try, if you can, to be serious where it matters, and then also sometimes relax a little bit. Like, I get it, dude. I totally get it. I hear it, I know it, I feel it. When we start to take life too seriously, I found this for myself, I found this for everything that I've ever realized in my life. The realizations that I have come into since becoming a mother have literally fundamentally changed everything about me. If I feel a symptom, or if I feel anxious, or if I feel blah, 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 if I sit in that feeling for too long, if I give it too much weight, if I put too much emphasis on it, if I give it too much of my thought, give it too much power, it will grow in power, it will grow in intensity, it will grow in strength, and it will overtake me in my brain. But if I just say, oh, that was a thought, move on, go do some pottery, go outside, go do the garden, go have a water balloon fight, go take care of your kid, let's go to the park, let's go to the beach, let's go collect rocks. Move my mind onto something that doesn't have to be about itself. Always a better outcome than if I give it any thought. And the more therapy I did, it did help me in a way, but it also held me back in another way. Therapy is wonderful, and I still do it every other week now. I was up to, at some points, to 3 days a week because I was like, I just need to keep talking about this more. Keep being in therapy. I need to keep talking about my feelings. And while I do believe that talking through your feelings is very, 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 very beneficial, and therapy is very helpful and has been a huge tool for me in recovering from pretty severe mental illness, it gets to a point where you've said it and now you need to live it. And that's where I got to, where I was like, you know what? I'm done talking about what ails me, and I'm going to move forward into a way of life that benefits me. So like, instead of, if I'm feeling anxious, now, instead of being like, why do I feel anxious? I need to talk about this. I need to treat this. I need to be constantly working on not being anxious. What I try to do is completely take my brain off and say, okay, I'm feeling anxious. That's uncomfortable. It makes sense though. It's just the kind of brain that I have. I'm gonna go make a cloche. I'm gonna go do some pottery. I'm gonna make a snail. I'm going to do some slip casting. I'm going to plant a garden. I'm gonna go pull weeds. I'm going to fill in the blank. Actionable steps that keep your mind busy in a positive way. Honestly, for me, meditation ain't it. Some people, it really helps them. To me, it's too internal, it's too self-focused. I need to take my focus out elsewhere. Go volunteer, build something, create something, make something. Those are the things that have always made my mind improve. But self-focusing has always made me worse. And this is one of the biggest things that I have learned over the years in doing therapy, is that the less I self-focus and the more I do for others, the better I am, period. And that's why I think motherhood has helped me so much and has been a really positive, even though through the difficulty with the mental stuff, it has taught me lessons I could have only learned through the hardship. It's just like trying to experience what it would be like to go through grief could never prepare you for what it's like when your family member dies. It can't prepare you because you can't know until you know. And then once you know, you're like, oh, there's no going back. It's the same way with everything that I learned postpartum and everything that I've learned in therapy and everything that I've learned in life. Can't know until you know. And then once you know it, you cannot unknow it. And so that's where I'm at now. And I love it because, yeah, it's hard and I have hard times and blah, blah. But we get through them. They're gonna go away. They always do. So that's it. That was today's chat. And I got my kitchen a lot better. This whole area cleaned off. Dishes still need to be done. Chickens need to be given all this yummy chicken bowl. By the time you're watching this, it'll be Monday when you guys watch this. On Saturday, we woke up in the morning and all of our quail had been killed. And Zach and I built their coop and it is freaking foolproof, you guys. Like, we built the whole thing. It's absolute hardware cloth every single place that it could be. Spent so much time reinforcing that thing, making sure that no predators could get in, and none have. We have seen coyotes out in the area. They have not been able to get through the quail. Bears, not been able. Bobcats, not been able. It was really shocking. When we came out yesterday morning, there was just a pile of dead quail and feathers everywhere. And they weren't just killed, they were like ripped apart. And so we were just horrified, and we cannot see anywhere that anything dug in. We have 3 locks on the door. So we have a top lock, a mid lock, and a bottom lock to where the door cannot be like pried open. That door was completely shut and locked. There is no digging marks anywhere throughout anywhere because we have, like, the quail coop sits like this. It's an A-frame. And then we have hardware cloth that goes 2 feet, so nothing can get through it. Bugs could, but nothing else. It goes 2 feet out, and then we planted a garden bed on top, so if something tries to dig, they'll hit hardware cloth. There's no way for anything to get in. But we found a tiny crack in one of the back pieces of wood, and it says that weasels only need about a size of a quarter to be able to get through. So I do think a weasel is what got them. They're literally brutal, and so it appears to be a weasel. All of the eggs that the quail had just laid were also eaten, so that leads me to believe that it's probably something like that. It was so horrifying because we raised these guys from eggs. You know, we incubated the eggs and we raised them up. We live streamed the entire process of raising them up from little babies, and I had to bandage the little baby's legs when it had splay leg, and we raised them up in our house, and then we put them outside after we built this entire coop. And my son absolutely loves the little white one that's in there. He calls him white cheddar. And so this was really, really, really unexpected, and it's very brutal what happened to them. And we're so just like blindsided by this because there's literally that only one spot that I guess I never could have assumed something could squeeze in that, because it's such a tiny little crack in one of the back panels, because we got like this reclaimed cedar board that like snaps together, and they got in. So I'm really sad to say that all of our quail were killed last night, or night before last. So quail are really, really skittish animals anyway on the best of days. So I feel really horrifyingly sad that their last moments were in absolute fear. And I just hope it was quick. I don't know. I imagine it was one weasel, and I don't assume it was quick because they're just brutal. We watched one kill a bunny out here one time, and the weasel was 5 times smaller than the bunny, and it was so brutal. Like the way it dragged it off, like that's living in the country. Sometimes it's like so beautiful and you're like, oh my God, tadpoles and little baby birds. And then other times it's a weasel pulling out adult bunny into the bushes. It's really brutal living in the middle of the woods sometimes. So yeah, we're really upset about it. We're not gonna get any more quail, especially since our son can't eat the eggs. And we have so many chickens that we're just overrun with chicken eggs anyway. But yeah. We're really sad about our little babies. So I thought I would let you guys know that here because I posted about it on my story, and it was just so sad. It was so unexpected. We've had no issues at all since getting them, nothing getting into the coop. And we even saw, we think a coyote tried to dig its way into the chicken coop and hit hardware cloth. It can't get in. And it's the exact same on the quail coop. Like we have a video showing how we built it. It is freaking like solid. And so they found a weak spot and got in. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for hanging out with me. And until next time, I'll see you guys at my next video. Bye.